Oh. Right. Over the last 5 years, especially during and after the pandemic, I've developed a very extreme and hypocritical prejudice towards certain types of people. The reason that I classify it as extreme and hypocritical is because I'm fully aware of the fact that any one person I put into that category may very well not be the threat that I perceive them to be. I know there's some mental illness involved, or sometimes there's issues with addiction, things that have happened in the past that they're running away from, and I can empathise. I've been there, I haven't long come out of it myself, and I still got a long way to go. I'm still stuck in the woods. I'm like a lost child. I'm like, oh my God, what was that noise? Wait a minute, is that the devil? Oh my God, the devil, he's after me. Is that the devil? Yeah, that's me. Okay, that's exactly who I am right now. I'm a lost child running away from the devil, and it's consuming me. That's why I no longer have either the time or the energy to waste on anyone I deem worthy of belonging into that particular category that I was just referring to. I don't want to make new friends. I don't want to bring new people into the fold that I don't trust. You get one chance in me. If you overstep my boundaries, then that's it. I got enough problems of my own. Sorry, life's too fucking short. I got a very select group of friends and family that I'm willing to be there for. The rest, fucking on your own, okay? I don't give a fuck about anyone else's drama. It's like people say, it's alright for Kevin to say. Yeah, it's alright for Kevin. Yeah, I asked him to meet up for a chat in town 3 times now, and he won't get back to me. So much for old friends. Tough. I don't want to be around you anymore. Every time I was ever in your company in the past, I was either drunk, stoned, or off my face on some other substance. The only thing that we ever had in common was that. I don't like you. I don't like your fucking friends. If it wasn't against the law, I would murder them. Whenever I've been in their company and I've gone to the toilet to take a piss, I've been gripping the sink, staring at the mirror, trying to talk myself down from not wanting to throw one of them out of the fucking window. I'm like, just wait until the dealer comes, get your shit, and you can get back to the bedroom so you can enjoy a 10-hour wank. Okay, he's a dickhead. He's a fucking dickhead, and killing him would probably be doing him a favour, okay? He's not worth it. He's a pathetic piece of shit. Just swallow, push it down. Honestly, I mean, what I wouldn't have given back then to have been able to have come out of the toilet while he sat there in the fucking armchair banging on about, oh yeah, I says to him, I says, don't mess with me, bruv. Yeah, I used to hang out with some of the top boys, proper villains, okay, proper villains. None of this wannabe bad boy shit, pure fucking psychos. All I gotta do is make one phone call and yeah, and then I slowly creep up behind him while he's sat in that chair, and I just grab him and I just, what are you doing, brother? Everybody in the room was like, Kev, what the fuck did you do that for? Look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Okay, I've been working at the depot all week. I'm up to my ankles in blood, shit, piss, fucking puke. Everyone is on furlough because of the lockdown. The 2 Czech Republic lads have walked out because the manager is being a fucking asshole. I'm cleaning dirty bins with a toothbrush, and the cunts won't even give me a bonus, okay? And I hate this guy's voice, and he's a prick, so I killed him. What can I say? man, you know, I don't need, I don't need those kinds of people in my life anymore. Alright, I haven't come this far and done this well to reacquaint myself with the type of people who would have absolutely no problem dragging me back down into their own self-made pit of fucking misery and despair. I don't give a toss how long we've known each other. Alright, I wish you all the best. I hope things work out for you in the future. I really do, okay? I really do. But if any of you or your cronies ever knock my door, okay, I will fucking beat you to death in my front garden. Understand? You know, so have a good life, okay? I really hope you have a good life. Enjoy your drink and drugs, but fuck off, because I'm not interested. I do not fucking care. It's your problem, not mine, okay? But, you know, and don't start giving me all this, you know, well, when you hit the bottom, that's when you realise who your real friends are, bullshit, on your Facebook status, or posting memes with pictures of Tom Hardy and or that guy from fucking, what's that, Peaky Blinders, and a quote from The Godfather, and keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. You know, how about I post a meme that there's a picture of me with my middle finger up, okay, with the words, don't surround yourself with cunts who have not got your best interests at heart. Post that on your fucking social media. Oh, man. You know, and when you try to be honest with these people, okay, when you're being straight and truthful with them, like they always ask you to be, and you're like, look, guys, I can't be around it anymore, okay? I don't want to be tempted. I had a touch of death recently, okay? I've had a warning from up on high. So please, if you really give a shit about me, I need you to respect my wishes, as I would respect yours, okay? I don't even smoke anymore, and I've been smoking since the age of 10. I've done really well. I've made a lot of progress. You know, just, it's been extremely hard, and I don't want to fuck it up, okay? Because I'm not out of the woods yet. I've only just started dealing with things. So please, just, I'm asking you, leave me be. And then you heard a bit always, oh yeah, that's okay for him to say. You know, getting up on his high horse, talking about being all clean and sober. Yeah, he's still living with his mum, he is, and his sister. Now, I ain't even got any family. Sorry for him, I haven't got no family. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. You have got children. Children that you brought into the fucking world, you ungrateful, selfish fucking cunt. You're a father, okay? But unfortunately, you prioritised your mates and partying over the well-being of your children. And now that they're older, they don't want to be around you anymore. They've been traumatised. You know, sorry to pop your bubble, but when you have children, it's your job as a parent to ensure that they grow up in an environment that's healthy. Okay, create a safe space in which they can be properly nurtured. Not still be awake at 3-4 o'clock in the morning because you've got a fucking rave going on downstairs with a bunch of violent thugs and some dumb women you're trying to impress who are never gonna fuck you anyway, okay? Not even if you fucking pay them. Alright? They find you fucking repulsive. I mean, you know, children tend to notice things like their parents' jaw swinging and their eyes being big as dinner plates, looking like a possessed demon. Oh, come here. Oh, that's my boy. That's my girl. Come here. Yeah, give me a hug. You know, it is disturbing to them. That kind of thing is disturbing to children. You know, that's why if you get caught taking hard drugs around your children, they could very well be taken off you. Okay, you fucking ignorant. Man, I hate people, okay? I fucking hate people who take drugs and then act like it doesn't have the same effect on them or the people around them. You know, it doesn't have the same effect that it has on everybody else, okay? As if they're special or something. As if they're, you know, hello? Sorry to pop your bubble, dipshit. Just because you've embraced drug culture, you know, it doesn't mean that you're immune from the effects of drugs. It's not. Nobody's impressed, you pole-smoking fashion victim. All right, it doesn't make you big. Well, you know, I know all there is to know about drugs, mate. Yeah. You know, I was there when the rave culture first took hold in Great Britain. You know, I've been taking Class A drugs since I was in my early 20s. You know, I used to go to what's that place? Hippo Club. Yeah, I used to go to the Hippo Club when it was the real Hippo Club. Back in the day, you know, I used to do five pills on the head every Friday and Saturday. I'd have half a gram of whiz, and that's when it was proper whiz too. You know, back in the day, proper whiz. I'd be up for 3 days straight on the weekend, and I was partying. I was doing that for almost 20 years, I'd say. 20 years. But the reason I got severe depression now, and I'm hearing voices telling me to kill people, alright, it isn't because of all that. It isn't because of the drugs. Alright, because drugs don't affect me like all those other people that have spent the majority of their lives taking drugs and are now suffering with serious life-changing physical and mental health problems. Because I'm special, me. I'm special. Yeah, I'm different. You know, my brain is impervious to the effects of Class A drugs because my brain's unique. You know, I'm like Hunter S. Thompson. You know, it's 5G towers. It's the 5G towers during COVID. That's what it is. Fucking bollocks. You know, there's 6 people I know in my life, okay, that have all been hearing voices, seriously ill, and swear adamant that they're hearing those voices because of 5G. Alright, and you know, maybe it is. So, you know, 1 or 2, they're not bad people, okay? Maybe it is, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. It might very well be 5G. Yet the 3 people that I'm still in contact with who say that they're being affected by the 5G towers are still smoking weed like it's going out of fashion, like strong, super skunk weed. Alright, they're dropping bombs of MDMA or snorting lines of coke before they have a wank, drinking cans of beer in the morning. Yet the whole reason their life is in disarray is because of the fucking Wi-Fi. You know, you tried to help. You're like, look, you need to stop taking drugs. Okay, all of it. You need to just stop it. Not, you know, take a break. You need to stop it all. You've been doing it for fucking 30 years, okay? You need to sober up completely and get to the doctors. You need help, okay? What? You mean antidepressants? Well, I'm not taking antidepressants. All right, that's the first step towards government mind control, and they'll be able to see all the things that I think of when I'm masturbating. Oh, you're just like, right, okay, fuck it then. Just, you know, I don't care anymore. Just, you know, I feel sorry. I hate to say see you feeling so down. You know, I know what it's like myself. I know, but if you're not going to take my advice based on my own personal experiencing, there's nothing more I can do for you, okay? I don't want to be around that shit anymore. It took me almost 10 fucking years to get out of it, and I ain't going back to feeling that way again for you or any other fucking cunt. It's alright for you. Yeah, you live with your mum. Yeah, I fucking... Yeah, I hate it when people do that. As if you having something that they haven't got means that you don't, don't minimise my struggle just because I chose to respect the wishes of my loved ones by taking the proper steps available to sort my head out. Don't try and make me feel bad and guilty for holding on to the good things in my life. Alright, you're the ones that are building splits and chopping lines in front of your fucking kids, okay? You had your chance and you fucked it up. So don't blame me for your misfortune. Man, I made a conscious decision to do what I had to do to hold on to the love that I have in my life. And as fucking hard as the last few years have been, I am now realising and reaping the benefits. You had love in your life too, but you fucking chose to abuse it. So I suggest you take a good look at yourself the next time you're snorting coke off a mirror and blame yourself. Okay, it's you, okay? You are the fucking devil, it's you. And if you had any sense of genuine parental responsibility, you would be doing everything in your fucking power to get back the love and respect of your kids. I'd be on my hands and knees begging for forgiveness. But no, keep on listening to your so-called mates. Keep on being like the bullied kid that sides with the bully. Because you haven't got the guts to stand up for those who matter, because you'd rather settle for a little bit of company and some fucking street cred. Just don't go blaming everybody else when the same people that you've been fucking simping for and sucking up to, like that fucking fish-eating, Gollum from Lord of the Rings, like precious, oh my precious drugs, my precious street cred, my street cred with all the bad boys. I know all the bad boys, I do. They use me and disrespect me, but at least I got my precious drugs and my precious street cred. Don't go blaming me when they're the ones that leave you in the gutter for the fucking dogs to piss on, okay? You're on your own. That's enough, man. It keeps on happening. There comes a time in a man's life when you have to get rid of any negative influences and cut ties, regardless. Because the people who are always pissing and moaning about how nobody is there for them are the exact same people who are never there for you either. Not unless it benefited them or their fucking holier-than-thou image they tried to project. It's always the the ones who behind their facade of being all humble and kind and are the same ones who are secretly plotting your downfall and finding ways to accidentally on purpose throw a spanner in the works because they're secretly jealous of something you have that they don't. Yet all the good things they have that you don't, they take for granted. And they sell everyone that ever loved them down the river for their own fucking instant gratification. I'm alright, Jack. Yeah, as long as I'm seen to care and pretend that I'm kind and that I'm a good person, as long as all the boys think that, I can continue to carry out my plan of smearing the names and the reputation of all those I'm secretly envious of. Yeah, that way then I can continue to not take accountability for all the actions that have put me in this position in the first fucking place. Fuck, man. Oh, right. Oh, confession time. Right then, people, I don't know how to say this. Over the last month, okay, you know, I've noticed quite a few people in the feed, in my Facebook feed, so only one or two videos on YouTube, of people who said that they've had the COVID vaccine and have then caught COVID again. And you know, the symptoms, they're very mild, but the one thing everybody's experiencing is this taste in their mouth when they wake up, after a night's sleep. And I've experienced it about a week before I had the stroke, okay, which is why I'm talking about this. I didn't have the symptoms of no taste and no smell, like was reported by people, the first time around. And when I had COVID before I had the vaccine as well, it didn't, I could taste, I could smell. But I had this taste in my mouth, and it was like, it was making me feel nauseous. I woke up, I couldn't eat my cornflakes, and it was horrendous. And because I've had time off and I've had the stroke, I've done a little bit of research, and seeing as so many people are struggling with the same thing, I have absolutely no knowledge about medicine. I don't even know the difference between a stethoscope and a periscope. But with all the ongoing investigations about the lies being told by the government, the World Health Organization, and then the subsequent rollout of the vaccine, especially after the stroke, I've been questioning my decision to be so willing to be jabbed, I guess. Okay, I don't like to admit it, especially after all the people that keep on saying, oh, it's the COVID vaccine. And I'm just, but maybe I shouldn't have been so hasty. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And the information that I've got recently regards to what the vaccine actually does when it's in our blood and when it comes in contact again with the virus. I know there's always going to be side effects. I'm not stupid. But seeing as so many people that have taken the vaccine have had this same horrible taste, I can't believe I'm saying this shit. Here we go. Right, I'm just going to say it. The magnetic nanotechnology that's hidden in the vaccine makes it so that anyone who catches the virus after being inoculated creates a trans-dimensional portal every time they cough or fart in their sleep. Okay, it creates a tear in the very fabric of our universe, and then it allows these invisible beings, these entities that live amongst us in the dark matter, to come into people's bedrooms while they're sleeping, and these beings then stick their asses in the face of people while they're asleep, And the longer you sleep, the longer their asses are hovering over your face. As and you're breathing in that heavy musk. Okay? And like for these entities, it creates like an orgasmic energy. And it gives them the ability to feel like Sam Smith as they perform at one of their sold out concerts, allowing the entities to experience what it's like to be a famous singer, and having people in the front row huffing your gooch as you squat during a dance routine and everybody's clapping and cheering. It's the closest thing these beings get to being a superstar. And then, when you wake up and you open your eyes after you sleep, your consciousness changes, the frequency in your bedroom shifts, and the magnetic qualities of the nanotechnology and the vaccine then just, they lose the magnetic pull, and then all these entities get sucked out of your bedroom and then back into their own dimension. I know it sounds stupid. So, if you get COVID again, you feel like it's COVID, okay, and until you've had the test, and until you know that you've tested negative, okay, sleep with a ball gag in your mouth and a cork up your ass, all right, so you don't cough and fart your way into the hands of these otherworldly entities that are hell-bent on having such a negative effect on your taste buds. I'm putting myself in risk. I'm putting myself in danger by exposing this truth, especially on such a public forum. Alright, so, I'd appreciate it. In exchange for parting such knowledge, you all now address me as being brave, as some sort of freedom fighter. That's what I want, okay? And if any of you question my evidence, okay, of which I have none, you will then be considered to be a part of the transdimensional mouth invader cartel, the TDMC, alright, to those in the know, okay? Be afraid. Be very afraid. Oh, right. Oh. So, yeah. Where was I? Let's get this done. Yeah, that's how I feel about drink and drugs. Okay, and another potentially harmful influence that I refuse to waste any more time on is conspiracy theories. Okay, I can't go down that rabbit hole anymore. I went down it about 15 years ago. It drove me fucking nuts. Conspiracy theories and those that try to scare you into believing conspiracy theories. Because they just want to fucking piss on your chips. That's what it is. Secretly bitter again. Those, look at them. Look at them over there, smiling and in love, that young couple. Yeah, I wish I was smiling and in love. I'm going to tell them that the world's going to end soon and ruin their fucking evening. I'm going to ruin it by reminding them that the United Kingdom is on the brink of a civil war between the right and the left, and the Christians and the Muslims. Yeah, and if that don't scare them, if that don't upset them and ruin their evening, I'm going to tell them that soon there might very well be a nuclear war with Russia. Yeah, and if they don't die in each other's arms during the initial blast, or succumb to radiation sickness-induced cancer during the nuclear winter, then they'll very probably be murdered by deformed illegal immigrants and surviving chavs that'll skin them both alive in front of each other and use them as thermal clothing. They either want to make you feel as miserable as they are, or they want you to think that there's some sort of psychic soothsayer. And they always use words to describe themselves like brave and heroic. They describe themselves as being brave and heroic for sharing already widely available and debunked information off the internet that's created by the kind of people who've found that there's a shit ton of money to be made online from making paranoid schizophrenics even more fucking paranoid, and giving chronic weed smokers something to watch in between knocking their top off to orgasm compilations on fucking Pornhub or whatever. Watching 3-hour-long interviews, but people with like Stephen Greer or Jeremy Corbell selling overpriced tickets on UFO conventions attended by lonely men who are hoping and praying to meet some weird kooky goth girl in a hotel they've booked nearby so that they can impress her with some of the very important top secret groundbreaking research you know, they've been conducting as if they're the main character in some fucking some Philip K. Dick novel or whatever the other fucking science fiction bollocks they're enchanting themselves with. Man, you know, by my calculations, and according to someone whose name I can't mention because I'd be putting them at risk, it's a matter of national security, but yeah, they told me that the Venus probe brought back a sample of fossilized feces that was shat out of the arse of a draconian reptoid that was then used, you know, the cells were put in a petri dish and then somebody added a little bit of water and they grew into a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Republican that would try to run for office and become a vice president to Donald Trump. I don't know, whatever fucking shit they just come up with on the top of their heads. Yeah, I mean, I guarantee one day there'll probably be someone, some fucking moron watching this, you know, comes across this video and when I'm dead and gone, and they'll be like, yeah, he's actually telling the truth. He is. Yeah, he's not really wearing glasses because, you know, he's had a stroke and the light from the tablet is making him sick. No. That's just to cover his eyes because he's a robot in the middle of an upgrade before Armageddon. And the reason people are going missing is because they're being kidnapped by the government to be turned into Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah. Do you know why they call it a family bucket? Yeah, it's not because there's enough chicken in that bucket to feed a family. No, it's called a family bucket, okay? Because the meat is made from real human families. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, okay, but chicken is the closest thing in taste to human flesh. Yeah, it's a new deep state government program created by the Rothschilds to simultaneously keep rising populations down while also feeding the poor and creating a healthy profit for the descendants of Colonel Saunders. Yeah, you know that bloke who looks like Rolf Harris on the side of the KFC family bucket? Yeah, the reason they call him Colonel is because he was in the military. He was in the military during the beginning of the 20th century. Yeah, and what happened was when he was in the military, okay, he was trained by the Nazis in the art of covering human flesh in golden breadcrumbs after the rotten corpses of war crime victims were chopped up into bite-sized nuggets to be deep-fried and then served to an unsuspecting public that paid good money to consume the only remaining evidence of the rules of the Geneva Convention being broken by a superpower during wartime. Fuck. I can't handle that kind of shit anymore, okay? You know, it's just, you know, it's too depressing, okay? And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, and you say to someone who's obsessed with all this shit, stoned out of their fucking gourd, connecting the dots. Well, I'm connecting the dots, I am. Yeah, I'm connecting the dots. Because I can't find any actual real solid evidence, so I'm just connecting the dots and coming to a conclusion that who's ever given me those dots wants me to come to. You know, and you say to him, look, I don't want to hear it anymore, okay? Me, personally, I think it's a load of fucking bullshit, okay? I don't want to hear it. And I go, oh, well, I'm only trying to help you, Kev. You know, I'm just trying to help you, that's all, to give you this important information. You're like, really? It's making me feel ill, okay? What else do you do to be helpful? Hand out free ice cubes to the homeless during winter time? What the fuck? I mean, you know, I don't mind talking about conspiracy theories in the form of light entertainment. Take them with a pinch of salt. But if I get an inkling that you're trying to make me, you know, you try to instill fear into me. You fucking scum. Okay? I've got enough going on in here as it is. I don't need someone trying to make me feel even more fucking paranoid than I already am in the first place. Okay? You know, I mean, the next person that tells me the reason I've had a stroke is because of the COVID vaccine, I'm going to break into their house in the middle of the night when they're fast asleep. I'm going to creep up into their bedroom, okay? And I'm going to inject an air bubble into their fucking bloodstream. You know, they're going to be all... and I'll be holding them down like... Kev, what the fuck? And I'll be like, yeah, you can call me one of the sheeple as much as you like, fuckface. I'm still gonna live long enough to piss on your fucking grave. I fucking hate them. You know, they always look like they're holding back a sly grin. When they ask me if I was inoculated before I had a stroke. You know, they've always saying these fucking you know, they can't wait to say I told you so. Or I told you it's a trick. I told you it's a trick to keep the population down. You know, so nobody had a stroke before COVID then, did they? I mean, my nan and granddad, okay, were fucked by the time they were my age from having a stroke. It's genetic. There's no smoke and mirrors, you conspiratorial fuckhole. You know, after the way I've treated my body, I'm surprised I didn't die years ago. Alright, I'm lucky if anything. I mean, whenever I talk about my drug intake and cigarette and alcohol consumption over the years, you know, I've always played it down because I've been fucking ashamed. You know, I'm not like one of these fucking idiots who, you know, like I was talking about earlier. Yeah, well, you know, I embrace drug culture because I'm a rebel and I like to live on the edge and I'm special. No. You know, I just don't like being around people. That's all, okay? They get on my fucking nerves. And if it wasn't for a constant regiment of, you know, dabs of MDMA 3 or 4 times a day for the last 20 years, okay, I would have most definitely fucking killed one of them. Without a doubt, okay? Especially in the workplace. People are like, oh yeah, I know Kev, yeah, I used to like working with Kev, yeah, he's a good laugh. Yeah, he's always smiling and happy. You know, he always seems happy. Yeah, like fuck I am. Man, you know, I'd only sleep every 3 days, okay? I was hearing voices, hallucinating, and all the while I'm trying to maintain my position as a newly appointed supervisor for an extra fucking 20p an hour. You know, never again, fuck that! You know, here we go. You know, that pandemic almost killed me, alright? Nothing felt more patronising than hearing people clapping like seals at 8 PM every night as a thank you to all essential workers. Now, you know, I've already had people clap for me. Loads of people clap. You know, I've had people clap for me in the past when I was doing comedy. Alright, the novelty wears off quick, sharpish. Alright, if you want to show me your appreciation, then may I suggest you either give me a fucking pay rise or a fucking blowjob, okay? Fuck. Oh, is he going on about working during the pandemic again, is he? Oh, fucking change the record, Kev. No, that was nearly 5 years ago. I'm sick of hearing it. You gotta move on. Okay, well, shut the fuck up about the Second World War then, you fucking ignorant cunts. Right, there. Oh, right, let's get this shit done. Right, I've been looking everywhere for my sunglasses. I can't find them. So I'm going to have to use my mum's, okay? I know it's stupid, but I can't do these videos at the moment without looking at without the sunglasses, because looking at the screen's making me feel sick. Right, anyway, where was I? So, yeah, I don't trust people who go too far down the rabbit hole, especially since the pandemic, with conspiracy theories. Okay, I mean, you know, I've known people whose marriages have been destroyed, friendships, relationships with their kids. You know, there's about 10 people that I refuse to talk to on the account of them being so far down the fucking rabbit hole that they just freak me out. They just don't trust anyone anymore. You talk to them with genuine respect and concern, but, you know, because they're talking about some proper dark, crazy, fucked up shit, and they're looking at you as if they're trying to see if there are any signs if you're a robot or something, you know. About 15 years ago, okay, I went to a meeting and to see somebody doing a PowerPoint presentation about how 911 was an inside job. Okay, I'm not proud, but, you know, I wouldn't be saying all this if I hadn't gone down the hole myself. Anyway, it was the saddest fucking thing I have ever been part of. Not one woman in sight. Okay, just a room full of unfuckable men. And, you know, I don't say that to be cruel. I mean, I was there too. You know, I'm trying to fill my head up with all this fucking dumb, irrelevant shit to try and keep my mind from holding myself accountable for having fucked up my life. Yeah, I remember being sat there thinking, man, I got a beautiful, funny, intelligent girlfriend back at her flat who loves me very, very much. I'm sat here with these fucking sad cunts trying to avoid the real reasons why you know, I couldn't fuck her for the last two. You know, it's not you, Kev. Yeah, it's not the drugs. Yeah, it's not the fact that you're unable to let people get close to you because of things that happened to you when you were younger and have been trying to block out ever since. No. It's because 911 was an inside job, and the Matrix is real. Do you know that? The Matrix is real. Yeah, it's the Illuminati. It's the devil. It's the Jews. That's another one. You know, they're going to turn everybody into Big Macs. Fuck. The vibration in that room, okay, was so low and heavy, like you were surrounded by an invisible sludge. You know, I mean, if you put a pair of infrared glasses on, okay, you'd very probably see all these reptilian entities just sucking the life out of everyone. Join us. You won't believe this shit. It will make you feel even worse than you already may feel. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, fuck. Oh. Man, fucking weirdos. Yeah, I remember having a cigarette outside before the meeting, and it was these two guys who were giving out leaflets for their website and asking people for their email address. And one of them said that they filmed an interview with a whistleblower that had escaped a mind control program in the Brecon Beacons. You know, and they're acting all hush-hush. You know, they're talking, you know, as if they were part of some sort of fucking rebel alliance standing up against the Empire. You know, they definitely got some sort of Star Wars science fiction fetish going on, trying to present themselves as if they're harnessing some great power and are knowledgeable about the ways of the Force, like they're some, you know, humble hermit, Obi-Wan Kenobi or fucking Yoda or something. You know, and if they were, I bet if they were to use the Jedi mind trick, okay, they would abuse it. They would abuse it, no doubt. Alright? You know, you can imagine every night before they go to bed, they fantasize about being Yoda, and Princess Leia walks in dressed in that, you know, the bikini outfit at the beginning of Return of the Jedi when she strangles the Baron Green, you know, the slug guy, the fucking Jabba the Hutt. Fucking hell, man. Yeah, that bit when so she's dressed up like that, and you know, you can imagine her there at the night, you know, having a good tug, and then imagining they're Yoda and Princess Leia walks in. It's like, Master Yoda, is Darth Vader my father? And they're like, suck my cock, you will. Oh no, sorry, Master Yoda, I don't do that. I don't like the taste. Okay, I don't even do that to Harrison Ford. I mean, you know, we did it about a year ago behind the Millennium Falcon, and yeah, I puked up in his lap, and his blaster got filled up, clogged up with vomit, and we couldn't shoot the stormtroopers, and yeah, I don't like the taste. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Suck my cock, you will. Yes, maybe your father is. Oh God, sorry. Fucking hell. You know, we're fighting for the freedom of the entire galaxy. Yeah, right. I guarantee if we woke up tomorrow morning and all over the world the skies were full of Star Destroyers, full of stormtroopers getting ready to disembark onto the ground, you know, the same conspiracy nuts, alright, you know, who are always banging on about how they're standing up to oppression and tyranny, they don't, you just see them all fucking running away, you know, pissing in their pants going, see, I fucking told you so, I fucking told you so, you wouldn't listen to me, would you? Yeah, not laughing now, will we, Kev? Yeah, I fucking told you so, I told you so. You know, and then while the rest of us would be fighting for our survival and standing up for what's right and what's true, they'd be fucking nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. You know, and then one day when you get captured and you're being marched out on your way to be publicly executed, you know, you suddenly recognise them, and they're the one that places the blindfold over your head before gently placing you up against a wall to be shot by the exact same fucking team they've always claimed to be fighting against. You know, and he'd be like, wait there, dude, what the fuck you doing? Dressed up like a stormtrooper. Look at this guy, yeah. I thought you would have found a member of the Rebel Alliance. Where were you when Darth Vader was taking a lightsaber to everyone's fucking kids? You fucking spineless cunt. You know, I remember when you called me a fucking coward because I refused to listen to your bullshit. And here you are, sucking up to the man. Well, fuck you. Kill me! You know, it's the same type of personality that's always ramming this shit down your throat with the intention of spreading fear and ruining your fucking day. Whether it's the criminal underworld, conspiracy theories, religion, politics, yeah, it's always the one who accuses everyone of being a grass. He's a grass, he's talking to the piece. Who's the fucking grass? You know, it's always those that are all for the war, you know, that are never the ones that actually go to fucking fight a war. You know, people who force their religion onto others, they never apply it to themselves and their own behaviour. Okay, which, you know, when it's brought to light, is the kind of stuff that even fucking Satan himself wouldn't endorse. You know, when they die, they get sent down and to hell, and Satan's like, you can fuck right off. Oh, you're not fucking coming down here, you sick cunt. Fuck off. God. You know? I mean, whenever some sick fuck goes around blowing up concerts for Allah, running around, hacking people to death, you know, or that fucking incel guy in Plymouth that shot a load of people, and that little 3-year-old with a father, you know, that guy in London recently who killed that little schoolboy with a sword, that sick cunt in Southport, all of these fucking whack jobs have been getting radicalised or influenced on their phones and their computers, you know, telling them that there's going to be 72 virgins waiting for them, or God told me to do it. Yeah, it wasn't me. God told me to do it because the Anunnaki said that the moon is a Death Star and everyone with eyes is the devil. And those alpha male dickheads, you know, they can fuck off as well. Alright, you know. I mean, you know, if you don't join my course, everybody will think you're a loser, and you'll never have a car collection like mine, and you'll never get to have a blowjob or swim in a hotel pool in fucking Dubai. Look at my watch. Look at my watch. Yeah, therapy's for fucking pussies. You know that, don't you? You fucking pussy. You know, puffing on cigars like it's a big black cock, using the word gay to insult people who don't believe whatever bullshit they're saying. Talk about he doth protest it too much. Alright? Yeah, I mean, why is it that all these men who constantly bang on about masculinity, about being a man, they always come across as either being gay as fuck or like they got some secret kink that's just fucking disgusting. Alright? You know, you can imagine some woman talking to a friend in a fancy restaurant, and she's like, well, look, admittedly, he does have a nice body, and he's got a great car, but, you know, when we got back to his mansion, he asked me to piss and shit all over his face and his chest, and he said, if he'd give me £1 million, you know, would I not tell anybody? You know, which is why I can afford not to work now, and I was able to pay off the mortgage. You know, I picture some of these millionaire online alpha male influencers every night in bed, you know, or with a remote control, okay, watching Facebook reels of themselves on a massive cinema screen in their bedroom, okay, you know, yeah, and while their new wife is sat beside them, bored out of a fucking tree, filing her nails, you know, and they're there going, yeah, look, you know, and then she goes to the bathroom and finishes herself off with an electric toothbrush, you know, and just as she comes, there's a knock at the bathroom door, and he's, hello, love, how long are you going to be in there, love? I've just uploaded that video of myself driving the Bugatti with the brand new Versace suit that was custom made, and the Ray-Bans. I thought you might like to watch it. I look really cool, like James Bond. Yeah. Okay, because he knows that deep down she thinks he's a fucking boring cunt. And if it wasn't for the fact that one of the agreements in the prenup was that she's never to use her phone when he's not standing right behind her, breathing over her fucking neck. Okay, he knows that she'd be in the bathroom, you know, texting one of his bodyguards. I'll meet you at the bottom of the garden, behind the water fountain, please, just fuck me, okay? I need to be fucked. I haven't been fucked in a month, okay? Please. Well, I haven't been fucked properly. You know, and he knows this, okay, because on the wedding night, you know, he's watching himself in the mirror, you know, taking her from behind, doggy style, you know, like Christian Bale in American Psycho, watching himself in the mirror, and then all of a sudden he caught a glimpse of her rolling her eyes up in her head, you know. You know, he's there like all like, oh yeah, you like that? Does that feel good? You gonna come? Huh? When are you gonna come? and she's got the same expression somebody has on their face, when they're thinking about what to add to the basket on the Asda home delivery service. I remember during COVID, there was this young driver, about 22, from the agency, and we're on break on the thing outside, and he's watching all these clips of Andrew Tate. Okay, and I've got to be honest, I don't know, I didn't think he was real. I just thought it was a comedy character winding people up, winding at people on the left and everything. And I'm laughing, thinking it's a piss take, and the young lad's like, no, it's not a character, bruv, it's not a character, he's a real deal. And then he's talking about how he's going to make money online, and, I made a bet with my brother, I have, that, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be driving a Bugatti, and on my 40th birthday, I'll be celebrating, I'll be having a party on a yacht. I'll be living like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. And I'm winding up. I'm like, look, mate, what are you talking about? Okay, let's be honest. You're probably going to fire into the first woman that's going to let you have sex with her without a rubber. Okay, she'll forget to take the morning after pill, and you'll be stuck in this job driving a van all around Cardiff until you're dead to pay for the kids you no longer see, and the closest you get to a party on a yacht is having a can of beer and a line on a rowboat you hired for 30 minutes on Roe Park Lake. You can't escape the Matrix, alright, I'll tell you that for free. I saw a clip once with that Andrew Tate guy who's dressed up as Lawrence Fishburne from the Matrix, and he's on about, he's like, oh yeah, I'm Morpheus, I am. I'm like Morpheus from the Matrix. I'm thinking, fuck off, no you're not. You're the guy who eats the steak and says, oh man, I know it's not real, but God, it tastes so goddamn good. Yeah, that's you. Talk about missing the fucking point. It's like years ago during the 80s when all those action films, like from Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when they were at their height, and the bullies would get influenced by these movies, and they'd always go around hitting all the weaker kids. They just finished watching Rambo 2 on VHS, and then, they'd go at some skinny kid outside with big, thick NHS glasses, and they'd be like, hey, what are you looking at? What are you looking at, Joe Lighty? Yeah, don't push me. Don't you fucking push me, okay, you fucking goggle-eyed twat. You fucking goggles, don't push me. And I remember having an argument with one once, okay, who was picking on me and my friends, and I'm like, you're missing the point, you stupid fucker. You're acting exactly like the bad guys in those stupid fucking dumb action movies that you're obsessed with. You're not supposed to pick on those that are weaker. You're not supposed to pick on those that are weaker than you daft cunt. If Arnold Schwarzenegger suddenly appeared, he wouldn't be going like, yes, my friend, I'm assembling a team of mercenaries to fight against the government troops and the Predator. Would you like to join us? I think you fit right in. No, he'd punch a fucking hole in your chest and rip your lungs out, you fucking wally. Fuck. Oh, there. Oh, right. Man, I can't do it. I was going to do a bit about Jordan Peterson. Because during the pandemic, I remember seeing a clip of him once, and what he was saying, it seemed to make sense to me, and it seemed that even though he was being a bit harsh and going against the grain, some of it made sense to me. But, since I've gone back on the internet, on YouTube, and I've seen clips of him come up and stuff, every time I see him, he's either fucking crying, and he used to be the one on about regulating your emotions. You're a fucking rich man, okay? There's no worry, it doesn't make you any less of a man because you're crying, but don't tell people to regulate emotions when you're on the worldwide fucking web know, crying, talking about God and Jesus, you know, and anything. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know, and you see there's a footage of him being confronted by having interviews and debates with a new generation of thinkers that are tying him up in knots. And now that he's closer to the end of life instead of the beginning, he looks like he's going through some sort of existential crisis. You know, he's wearing these fucking weird suits, and you know, he's getting bitter because, you know, he probably didn't party enough, and now the younger people are more open-minded and they're less inhibited thanks to progress and evolution, you know, and they're starting to realise that the Bible probably wasn't ever meant to be taken literally, and that Christ isn't an actual person that's going to come back and save us, but it's a consciousness for people to tap into in order to behave in such a way that it spreads and the world will become a better place, so that you know, we may get to know what heaven is like. Yeah, you know, no, he's just a miserable cunt anyway. Fuck it, man. All these influencers and these, you know, they all come across like those the evangelical preachers in America. You know, the ones that just like, you know, and the blind shall see, and the cripples will do a sponsored walk to collect money for my church, to buy fuel for my personal jet, and so that me and my wife can hire more barely legal hookers and we can fuck on a Sunday at the church. You know, they give false hope to poor, vulnerable people who send in money that they haven't got. They don't get taxed, and these, you know, yeah. Fuck it, man. That's how it all comes across. It's all just sales and trying to get money, and, you know, yeah. Yeah, if there's any young man who is struggling right now, okay, you don't need a fucking Bugatti, okay? You don't need a fucking, you know, a woman who's a 10. I tell you what, it's like this. All those guys, you know, they're on about, yeah, my woman's a 10. Yeah, look how much fucking money they spent in order to get a 10. And look at all these rich men like Donald Trump. Look at his wife. She looks miserable as fuck. He don't look very happy either. All you need is peace of mind. Okay? Fuck what everybody else thinks. Peace of mind. That's it. And when you get peace of mind, then, you know, just fuck what everybody thinks. Okay? Don't fall in love. That's all that matters, okay? That's all it is. Love. There you go. I can't be asked going on, so I'm going to fucking puke up. Love. I'll leave you with that word. Love. I know it's a bit fucking, oh, what's he talking about? Love. No, that's what it's about. Okay? I don't know. I gotta go, folks. Alright, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.